Tell us.
Hello, welcome to Love Light Vibration. I'm Melissa Ray Rosa, and joining us is Keith Allen Kay. And we are just getting on today to share a little information to talk about our Love Light Vibration event that is being held in July in Binghamton, New York. The dates are July 18th in the evening and July 19th from 9 to 1. Our second event will be on Saturday, July 20th in the evening, and Sunday, July 21st from 9 to 1 as well. So we're just going to have a little conversation today with Keith and ask him some questions and get some information. And then Keith is going to pull a card with us, one of his fractal holograms, and share a little bit of his work and what he does with the cards. Welcome, Keith. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, I'm so glad. This is fun. What a great way to start the day. I'm
Yes.
ready for your questions.
All right, great. I've got a couple different categories of questions. I'm first going to start with just finding out some information about the holograms and the work you do. So, let's start with just tell us a little bit about your work with holograms and what you do and what the purpose is of them.
Um, yeah, that's a very kind of long and deep question. I'll try to handle they started years and years ago. I mean, I feel older when I even think about them. And they started one day when somebody called me up and said, Keith, have you ever seen fractals? And I was going, I've never even heard that word. So no, I don't think I have. And he goes, well, just go home, look up fractals on Google. Okay. Well, I went home and actually remembered. Usually those kind of things I totally forget. And I looked up fractals and I literally just had a deep soul experience as I'm looking at these images, and they were all images, they weren't moving at this time, and they were just so beautiful, so incredible. And I just kept looking. I mean, I probably for hours I was looking up these images, and I could feel my soul rising up saying, I am going to learn how to do it. And I started discovering it had to do with math and all kind of like, oh no, I can't do it. So, but I pressed through and started creating some fractals. They were pretty simple at the beginning. And later on I started animating them, like the ones you see behind me, and had a huge experience. At this time I was doing a lot of body work with people in my studio. And it was my desire that I wanted to put these on the body. I could feel it. I so intuitively knew healing would take place just because I could feel it in my own body. I could feel what was happening as I was creating these. And at that time, projectors were large, hot, loud. And a friend of mine was going to try to install one above my table pointing down because that's what I could see. And it was like, no, we're gonna kill somebody. This is not gonna work at all. And so I just let it go and said, forget it. Well, sometime later, maybe even a year later, a spirit came to me again and said, look again. And so I went looking for smaller projectors, and they started making these little small, at the time they called them pico projector. Pico just means small. And so I got one, and I put my holograms on it, and I started um, putting these people on people's bodies, right on their skin, right? And there was such remarkable shifts that happened immediately, healings that took place. People got pregnant that had been waiting to be pregnant for years, and by the very next visit they were pregnant, right? It was just a stream of souls coming in. And I knew I wanted to enlarge that, and so I created an app and with some people, and they turned out to be just a little bit challenging. So and I didn't know how to make an app myself, but one day I woke up just like with the holograms, I knew exactly what to do. I knew the algorithm. I knew that this all was connected to numerology and understanding of numbers symbolically. And so I created my own app in about 4 or 5 days. It was a web app, um, and it just set everything free. And so the experiences got larger. These have gone around the world. I do personal fractal holograms for people, literally all over the world that have used them and connect to them. And so they're so much a part of my soul as my expression of this multi-dimensional energy. When I'm creating them, I'm in an entirely different space. I'm witnessing something. And it's funny because like when we do these in public and show them, you can usually hear the audience go, oh, right. I do the same exact thing when I'm on the computer. I go, oh my gosh, okay, okay. And then every once in a while, I'm doing a personal hologram for somebody, and it's like, oh, I think I could keep that one. I think that one I love, right? And
Mhm.
but I haven't yet stolen anybody's hologram, but I've been tempted several times. They'll never know. I can make another one. They'll never know. Um, so that's
You know,
been this experience.
yeah. Um, as you're sharing that story, I'm reflecting on my experience with your work. I actually was familiar with fractals before stumbling upon your work, and I was always really drawn to them as well. And when when I found you a couple of years ago online, I think exact your words were they resonate so deep within the soul. And I was also although I enjoyed fractals when I found your work, I mesmerized, just so drawn in. That's actually not my normal experience, especially online. I'm, a little bit cautious that way. And I, especially in the last 6 months, when after you made my personal hologram, that's when I really have started to notice significant shifts within myself as well.
Yeah.
And then when you came in April and that event, it has propelled me in a direction that it's exciting and opening things and amazing and transformational. So all those words that you said, I have also experienced through your work. It's such a blessing. So thank you.
Beautiful. Yeah, wonderful.
Um, so going what happens when what do you have an idea like I it's hard for me to put into words what's happening when I watch them and when I sit with them and when I meditate with them, but do you have an explanation for people of what happens when they are being infused with that light and those fractals and the holograms?
Yeah, I think I do. I mean, obviously this is my experience of them, but fractals in their nature are everywhere. Fractals are in everything biological, right? Anything that grows, trees, our bodies, our nerves, our blood vessels, all move and flow in a fractal pattern. And at the essence of fractals is that they are self-similar, right? So there's this self-similarity that as things are growing and move that we begin to move out from. And so they are familiar in and of themselves. We we are designed to see beauty. We are designed to experience patterns. And so there's a natural openness. But when I started this, it was all in and around the body, and that I was already working on people, and I knew I wanted to put this on their skin. I had some deep revelations about the skin and laying hands and those things that our skin, I believe, is our most perceptive organ in our body. That in fact, all of our other senses are also found within our skin. I think we actually see, hear, feel, touch, taste, all of those things we also experience through our skin. And so putting them there was immediately, and the intelligence of our skin received that information on a deep soul level. But I began to realize that really the deepest level was on a morphic level. The in a morphic field is like you lifted up your coffee mug a few moments ago, right? So lift your coffee cup up for a second. So there is a morphic field attached to that mug now, right? That goes all the way back to when it was designed, right? And the artwork was designed. And then it was literally put through a machine and came out the other side looking like that. Somebody boxed it up, put it in a box of bigger things and distributed. So there's people and their energy all along the way, right? You don't have to hold it all the time, sorry. But since it came to you and it has meaning to you and it has a significance, right? Every time you've drank from that cup, there's the field is recording all that information, your joy, your experience of it, your delight in the colors. So if someone were to come into possession, let's say you decided to give that mug to somebody, right? They're not just receiving a mug, they potentially are receiving all of the energy that you poured into that object. And that is what's taking place with these holograms. Every one of them is created with very powerful intentions, affirmations, essences, flower essences, mineral essences, stone essences, right? And those are all very real and viable, just like when we see a beautiful piece of artwork. Why are we why are we moved? Well, because there was an energy that it was created in. And then even beyond that, there's everyone that sees that painting also is adding to that morphic field remotely. So it's a very compounding, profound experience as people start getting healings from being in the light of the holograms. It became exponential, and people were being healed all over the world.
Yeah. Thank you for putting those words together because it's very clear for me. I know first I was watching them through the screen, but then again at the event in April, I could feel the energy. I could feel when you and Annette and I were putting it on people and watching people in the audience. It's such a high vibration. It's such there's such shifts happening and I could feel it and sense it, but I really appreciate those words because um, it was such an embodied experience for me. And I think for many others that having those words makes a lot of sense. And even around the mug, that really resonated with me. This was actually a handmade mug that it was not purchased. And
Right.
so even as you were saying that, it was not purchased at a box store, it was purchased at a farmer's market. And I
Right.
can actually feel, as you were saying that, it made sense. I could feel the love and the intention behind that. So thank
Well,
you very much.
let me mention one other thing around that, and it has
Mhm.
to do with the energy of beauty. And beauty is one of the divine energies that we experience throughout life. It is literally, I won't open that door, but the beauty, the energy of beauty is openness, right? So when you see something beautiful, even your mug, it immediately there's a, like when you pull that mug out of your cupboard, right? And you see it amongst all the other mugs, you have an openness, right? There's that sense. If you were to go to the Grand Canyon in my state, Arizona, it would be impossible for you to go, huh, yeah, well, you see that every day. The experience is awe,
Yeah.
right? And that openness. So that's what happens with these holograms because of the patterns, and especially if you see them on your body, it goes, well, when we're open, we can receive beyond our critical mind, or okay, yes, that makes sense. Those are, yes, and there's that light and there, but when we are open, we're just receiving at a deep level. And so it really bypasses some of the mental energy that often keeps us wondering why things aren't happening.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I yeah, I have another thought, but I'll take that for later. So that kind of leads me to my next question. Um, you know, my experience was first watching them online and through my screen, through my phone or computer, and I felt that I could feel it even transferring through. And I know on the skin amplifies it, but not everyone has a projector. So, how do you suggest people use these? Whether especially for those that don't have projectors.
Well, yeah, because my first response is that it had to be rejected in light, right? And so that's how it was all birthed, out of having light on the body, which I think is extraordinarily powerful. But as I began to start work, people that could see them on the screen, like right now, even though my head's in the way, you can see this hologram behind me, right? And even on your, I think you're on your iPad, those photons are firing and they're bouncing off your face, your neck, your hair, your shirt, everything. These are still the same kind of photons. It may not have the dramatic effect of my body looking like I'm morphing under this light, but it has all that power, right? And then I began to start using my phone in that same way, where I would begin to hover my phone over people's bodies, specifically because it's so much easier to hone in a hologram and put it like on their hip or on their lower back or something, right? And those were very effective. And I was reading some other stuff on subtle energy sciences, and there had been some discoveries around just the pure morphic field, right? And so I believe, and I've done lots of testing around this and found it very effective, even to have your phone and turn on a hologram and let it just play in the background, right? And so it's not even something that you're even seeing. It's not something that you're visualizing. You could carry this in your pocket. You could have this on your desk and actually feel that morphic field. I mean, if you wanted to amplify it, you could actually open multiple copies by separate apps and have that all in your pocket, and just your intention of opening it and that it's running and connecting is allowing us to receive all of that information, all of the intentions, all of the essences, all of the affirmations, even by just having it in the pocket. Or other people play it in their room. Annette plays them all the time on an iPad she has on a shelf, right? She's
Yes.
perpetually playing them in her room. And in that case, not only are they beautiful, but they're absorbing all of that healing energy from her room, right? They're picking up these by her doing that is strengthening the power of this morphic field universally. She is affecting every one of these holograms by adding to it all of this powerful, amazing healing energy. So yes, they work from your phone, from your iPad, from your computer, anywhere that you can put them. If you can see them, I think it helps our connections. But if you can tune in and receive it, you could have it literally in the background of your phone and be receiving that energy all day long.
I'd like to share a personal story here.
Oh, perfect. Love it.
um, so Keith made a set of cards, holograms for the event in April, the Love Light Vibration. Although, do you have a different name for them? I call them Love Light Vibration.
They're
Uh,
called
because,
holographic art.
okay, holographic heart, right. But it's on lovelightsvibration.com. That's where I go to log in. So they're all these beautiful hearts with these beautiful messages and affirmations. And after I'm a teacher, and since the workshop, I have been putting one up every day on my computer screen on my desk, which kind of faces, my desk is in the back of the classroom. And especially the first week after the workshop, but ever since as well, it changed the energy in my classroom. I was going in, I have 150 students a day, and or maybe 140. And that week after, there was just such flow in my classroom. There was such harmony. There was in-depth conversations, kids getting along really well. And I remember at the end of the week, I stepped out in the hallway, and I had this realization there was just like chaos. It was like a zoo going on out there. And I was like, wow, something is really different in my room. And so I think that kind of speaks to what you were just talking about.
Perfect example.
Um, okay, so let's this love light vibration, and your message of love, unconditional love, love is everywhere, is also really powerful and really resonated with many of us at in April at the workshop. So I just have some questions around that. What does love mean to you?
Well, it certainly has transformed in my life and enriching. I grew up in Christianity, so I saw the world as kind of black and white and good and evil, and lived in a lot of fear, you know, worrying that I was going to get left behind at the rapture and stuff, just because of the kind of church I grew up in. And and so when I began to break away from those ideas, and I realizing that nothing in the world can separate us from love, and that um, love is all and in all. Rumi, my favorite poet, says love is everything, literally everything. He says even the particles that make up atoms are lovers in search of love. And I can feel it, and it began to move in my soul that love is always and everywhere. It doesn't go away, and love never fails. Love does not judge, nor could it be, right? And so when we say unconditional love, it sounds like a very high form of love, yet love couldn't exist with conditions. If I have conditions by which I can love you or not, then I'm not acting in the true realm of love. I'm allowing judgments, and judgments are part of what we experience in this finite world, but that's all, they only exist in the finite. Love is infinite, and we are of the infinite. And so when we judge, we bring things down into the finite, where things appear to be broken, things appear to not be perfect. And yet I realized in my soul and began to experience love on this crazy level of always being there in the midst of everything. In April, I asked that question: what if nothing that you've ever done was wrong, or even could be? What if that's not even the point of the universe, right and wrong? It is in the finite world, because we're experiencing what love is through separation here. But love transforms, and um, Rumi says that love masters all things. I am completely mastered by love. And when you first hear him say that, you go, oh my God, he must be like some high level guru. But if love masters all things, what's the only thing you could say about yourself? I am, in truth, completely mastered by love. And so, even though it doesn't appear so in this finite world, we are of the infinite. We are love. We live beyond this finite love life. And when you can see it and test it and touch it and feel it, something transforms, and things literally just drop away from your life. They no longer are the thing that keeps you in therapy or keeps you in a condition or a state of disconnection or in relationships that are muted and contained. And all of a sudden, you begin to find ecstasy in a flower. You feel intimacy breathing air outside. You feel how connected you are to everything and everyone. And in love, mercy endures forever. There is nothing to judge. Or then it wouldn't be it would be conditional love. I'm going to give you love unless you screw up. Oh, done. We were talking before starting this, and you had used the word deserve, and that's another thing that we want to attach to love. That, well, I deserve love. No, we don't. It doesn't exist in love. There is no deserve, because to deserve, you would have to judge something as being worthy. You are worthy because of who we are, that we're infinite, we're divine, we're here. And when we begin to open to that, magic happens everywhere, all over. Everyone that we touch, even standing near someone in a line at a grocery store or across from them at a gas station, they are experienced, because we literally move through the world and we create a wake of light that is rippling. Like, if you could see it, it'd be like a boat, and the wake that's created, we are creating wakes of light everywhere we go.
Yeah, yeah, that really resonates. That feels right. Thank you. So you kind of said this, and I even have some ideas about this, but what ways do you live in love?
I talk a lot about practice, right? Because regardless of the fact of everything I said about the infinite, we are here on purpose in this finite world experiencing love. And in this finite world, one of the things that doesn't exist in the infinite is separation, right? And so there's all kinds of times when I feel separated, when someone cuts me off or somebody hurts somebody I love, or when um, I mean, any number of reasons I can experience separation from love. And so this is when we practice, when I just come back to breath and going, okay, what's what am I feeling? Where is it? And then I just begin to breathe in love and breathe in the infinite. And these finite things seem to be so minuscule. And I just again return, right? And so if I find myself outside of the flow of love, I don't even judge there's no punishment. There's no, oh man, you better be careful or you're going to hell, or none of those things exist for me anymore. Right. So now I just can return. And then I might ask, well, why don't you, not even worry about returning and just live, because I can return to love. And I'm telling you, life with love is better than life without it.
Mhm.
If you want to experience love through separation, you are free to do so. And at the end of this life, you don't meet the judge going, oh, you had too much separation. No matter how you live this game, this game of life,
Mm-hmm.
the outcome's the same. You're brought back in. You return to everything resolves into love. Everyone, even the worst of the worst of the worst, or else then it isn't love.
Thanks. You kind of combined my next question too about like when obstacles come in life, because they come all the time at us, right? Like how do we return to love? But I think you address that, like, right, this practice, this awareness.
Yeah, just
You know,
give a breath, or I allow myself to see something beautiful, a hologram, any of these things where I feel into that, and I feel, and I allow myself to move out of the finite of separation, that it's already here, it's already perfect, and there's nothing to fix, right? So I work with people all over the world in sessions, and so often people are coming in going, well, I'm hoping that Keith can fix me. I'm not even trying to fix you. I don't even think you're broken. That if there was something I could accomplish that would be super valuable, it would be that you're not broken, right? And in fact, you don't even need to be talking to me. But I get it. In the finite world, we need people to talk to. We need healers, even though all healing, I believe, is self-healing. What healers do is we create environments where healing takes place, and you're literally able to open because you're feeling openness, right? And a healer can be that. So life is beautiful with love, and ever much more than I could ever imagine. And that is that experience, that daily returning to love and light.
thank you. I think that's all I have for today. Maybe we can pull a card and do a little.
Let's do that. Let's
Let's
hope that
play a little.
let's hope this works. I tried to set this up. Um, there they are. Share. There. Now we're little small people. We're here. And you may not hear the music. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull a card. Melissa's gonna use her attention and intuition to pick a card, and we'll just flow with that, and then we'll turn on the hologram, and I'll say some words of blessing around that. So I'm gonna have her close her eyes,
Yep.
and I'm gonna start slowly moving my mouse to and fro. And
All
she's
right. Yep. Right there.
right there, that one.
Yes.
Well, that one happens to be she's good at this. What can I say? She somehow knows. Eternal consciousness, exactly what we're talking about. I'm gonna let her read the bottom of this card, and then I'll read it to you as well.
Eternal consciousness. The infinite eternal permeates all matter, all energy, all life. The finite is made entirely of the infinite.
Right. Beautiful. So just allow this, breathe this in, eternal consciousness. Take in the beauty of this card that says the infinite eternal permeates all matter, all energy, all life, everything, every situation, every person you encounter are literally consumed and made up of eternal, infinite energy. But the finite, the stuff that we often struggle with and don't have enough of and feel our separation around, the finite is also made entirely of the infinite. It's what we call a paradox. So don't let that short circuit you. But everything finite is entirely made up of infinite eternal energies. And that's a beautiful thing for our practice. And so we're going to bless that. I'm going to do my best up here to hit the right there. And these are the deck of cards. They're radiance cards. They're intended to work with these holograms. So we will turn this one on.
Mm.
And he's playing beautiful music in my ears, but I don't think
I can hear it, Keith.
you can. Oh, good. Maybe they can too. It might be too loud though, right?
It's not right now. In fact, it's a little it's not as flowy as it sometimes is, but I can hear a little of it. Mm.
So I'm going to turn it down a little bit.
Yep.
So I bless you. Thank you for being here today. I want you to know that every situation in your life, your bank balance, your marriage, your friendships, the work you do, your creativity, every bit of it is made entirely of the infinite, eternal. The most challenging situations are comprised of infinite energy. And if we allow ourselves to expand, there's nothing to judge. There's nothing to be offended by. There's nothing to be separated from. You are of the infinite eternal. Whether you've said a prayer or committed your life to service, or none of those things are required. It is because we're a being. We're a manifestation. We are, in fact, incarnation. We are the incarnation where the divine enters into the finite and experiences life in this splendor and awakening of infinite energy all around you. And if you let the beauty shift you and open, you will feel such a massive, deep awakening of love and light. You will see relationships transform. You will see your work expand. Your powers and your intuition increase. It's just the nature of the infinite. So be blessed and breathe and feel into the light and love. You are loved. You are deeply and beautifully loved. Perfect. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Melissa, for your light. You are beaming with light. It's just, I'm sure people are feeling you like they feel the hologram, where love and light literally come from your skin and your face and your eyes and your smile. It really is an encouragement to see you embody this energy in such a beautiful way.
Thank you for all you do. We appreciate it and we feel it. And you know, being together, right? This for me at least, it's magical, it's empowering, it's transformational, but also this community
Yeah.
amplifies all of the love, all of the light, all of the vibration, and really brings it alive and into practice.
I 100% agree. I encourage you. There's two different courses. Um, they're essentially going to be same, but they won't be the same because it just doesn't happen that way. So, but both of these are extensions and moving on beyond even our first time together in April. So we're going a little bit deeper. We're gonna have a lot more fun. We're going to be working with music and playing in that. We're going to be working with some of the bowls, and we're going to put the bowls around a table and put lights on the bowls and have that vibration moving through people's bodies. It is definitely something exciting. So go to Love Light Vibration. There's a little bit more description there now, thanks to Melissa. And there's a place to sign up right there. You're welcome to come to both sessions if you want, but you can pick either the Thursday, Friday sessions or the Saturday, Sunday sessions. And then the rest of the time that I'll be there, I'll be doing sessions available for sessions. You can contact Melissa about that, contact Annette, and either one of them will help schedule you in for a session. They're going to be remarkable. It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, also on that Love Light Vibration page, you can also find some testimonials from people who were either at the event or who have been working with us and experiencing the holograms or just have the holograms themselves. And Keith, I think I'd also like you to mention what you're working on for the July event that'll be ready. Do you want to talk just a
Well,
second
there's
about
a
that?
whole new set of, I don't, I probably should have had one ready. Next
Okay.
time we do one, I'll have one ready for you. But just like the first event in April inspired me to work on these heart holograms, right? And they're powerful. Annette's been using them in her work, shining them on your feet and your face and your hands. And things are shifting so powerfully and quickly. But I want you to know anybody can use these apps. Even if all you want to do is put the app on your phone and put it in your pocket, you're receiving that message. But I've started creating, inspired by what is about to happen in July and beyond, another entire set of holograms that are right now I'm calling them holonomic cards that really are talking about holonomics is that everything is connected to everything. And so there's a sense of these cards, and they move in a little different magical way. They all have love forms on them, geometrical love patterns that are powerful. And so I'm excited about them. They'll be ready sometime before June. Hopefully he's done. But there'll be another whole set, and that's something else that you can get yourself. And so very excited. Go to
Yeah.
lightvibration.com, sign up. We'd love to have you. We're really believing for something extraordinary, even beyond what happened in April. So
And I've had a chance to look at a little bit of a glimpse of that work that you're doing. And it's hard for me to even imagine, but I can see it, that those new ones are even more every time, everything you do, every new one, it's just even more amplified. So I'm really excited that people will get to experience those. And Keith, I also just want to throw it out there for people who may not be in New York or may not be able to travel to New York. If this is something that have if you're in an area where you think that a group of people would be interested in experiencing this, reach out to either Keith or Annette or myself, so we want to share this with as many people as we can.
yeah, we're free to travel. So that's our part of our vision. We'd love to see this moving in cities, um, really across the nation, then obviously into the world. So we love you. We want everyone to have this experience. That's what we call this. We call the weekend an experience, because it is absolutely 100% an experience. So love to all of you. Thank you.
Yes, and we look forward. We'll be doing some more of these and sharing with different people as well. So thank you to everyone. Much love.